Hey guys, I'm about to talk about a lot of really crazy shit in this video, recounting an adventure that I had on my way back from Los Angeles. I don't normally do disclaimers at the start of my videos. Obviously, this actually might be the only one I've ever done, but I kind of want to make some like very, very, very clear things apparent here because I'm very big on, responsibility to audience, responsibility for my public messaging. If you have like some sort of mental problem, or if you have some sort of issue that you're dealing with in life, my number one unequivocal suggestion is always to seek professional help. I do not suggest self-medicating. I do not suggest trying crazy homeopathic, whatever bullshit. My go-to, if you're having serious problems in life, is to always, always, always seek professional help first. I don't remember exactly what I say in this video, but we've done a lot of talking about drugs and hallucinogenics and different stuff over the past few weeks on my stream just because of my experience. And I want to make sure that I'm being absolutely clear that I do not recommend you try anything that I've tried or do anything that I've done because you think it's going to fix some underlying problem you have, or because you think that, something that, I don't know, that some crazy drug can be the solution to your problem. I think it's about as clear as I can make it. I want to take a second here actually to introduce. I've got a sponsor that I'm doing for this video that's pretty related, and it's called BetterHelp. I'm sure you've heard of it before. Basically, I guess it's like an online therapy thing. I thought about doing this a long time ago, but I was actually uncomfortable originally. But I did a lot of digging into them over the past couple months, and they seem pretty cool. But basically, it's like an affordable way and very convenient to get like therapy online. It allows you to I think you've got like constant access to your therapist. The prices are like half or whatever of what you'd normally expect. I think like 35 to 70 a week is about the averages on the site. And as somebody that's paid for therapy in real life for other people, I know that it gets a lot more expensive in real life. So, I have a link below the video if you're looking to do something related to that. Again, I'm not compelling you to do it, but like if you have, again, just to reiterate, what I had at the beginning of this video, if you have some sort of problem, trying to get these problems fixed via therapy or via like clinically researched medication is so much more highly recommended than any of the crazy shit that I do. Yeah, thanks a lot. Enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys later. Did your experience on mushrooms change your perspective with anything? Nope. Why did you do 1 million mushrooms? Because I didn't want to have a dumb experience. I wanted to go on the whole journey. Do you have any regrets when you thought you died from the mushrooms? Well, I didn't want to die. What if Reckful decides to do the psychedelics because of you? Aren't psychedelics risky to people with clinical depression? I don't know. If he kills himself, it's not him. It's not my responsibility. That being said, I don't think he would. You did way too much to have a good experience, so you passed the ego death. I wasn't after a good experience. I have no interest in doing drugs to feel happy. This is the exact antithesis of why I would do anything. I was looking for a unique experience that I can't get anywhere else, and the idea of tripping and seeing colors and shit is very boring to me. Who was in the room while you were tripping? I don't really want to say because I don't want to reveal people that shouldn't be, but I mean like Reckful and Becca were there. I guess I could say those two people were. There's way too many questions. I can't even read it right now. The main thing that came out of you is that Lord's Mobile is imprinted in your soul. No, my phone was like my only tether to reality, so I think that by virtue of picking up my phone a lot, I think I probably just associated Lord's Mobile with my phone, I guess. Did you get the experience you were looking for? I imagine so. I can't really know if there's like anything more than that. Do you think that what you experience does reflect death in any way? I have no way of ever knowing that, right? Have you rewatched any of the footage? Yeah, Reckful was showing me some. It was really interesting. I hope I can dump the full footage online. It would be really interesting. Any plans to release a video? I think they only got about 2 or 3 hours of it. I don't think they caught the really bad parts, which sucks because those are probably really interesting, but do you feel ripped off that your day at Disneyland was so short? Weren't we at Disneyland for like 7 hours? How long did it take to wear off? It was actually right at about like 6 or 7 hours. I would say that like the actual like extreme trip probably lasted like 4 hours, and then I was like marijuana high like an hour or two going into it and like an hour or two coming out of it, if that makes sense. There were 3 major, okay, fuck, I feel like I'm going to be repeating a lot of fucking things. There were 3, it's in waves. Oh, dude, the waves part was the worst fucking part. Because you never know when you're actually back in reality, right? Because every time I would come back, I would say, like, is this real? And then somebody would say yes, but then, like, shit would go crazy again, and it wasn't real. So I would keep being told that it's real, it's real, it's real, but it wasn't real. And so are you any closer to getting Twitter unbanned? I hope so. That's my hope. Pokey and ISIS manager, and those two are probably, Pokey's actually did a decent amount, and then ISIS manager helped a lot, and then Reckful is helping a little bit as well. So hopefully one of these 3 avenues gets me to where I need to be. I thought I was straight ahead of you. No, we got along pretty well. He seems okay. You said you try it again at a less ridiculous dose just for fun. No, I don't know. I have no interest. I don't know. I would just never do drugs for fun. I don't know how to explain it. I might try LSD next, maybe, but I really don't know how to explain it. I just don't. There are things that I enjoy doing in life, and drugs seem to inhibit all of that. Like marijuana, it's not fun for me. I feel like I can't do anything that I would like to do. Yeah, I don't know. So I guess these are like the 3 phases, and I can't really know for sure if everything I'm saying applies correctly because I redosed, but basically what happened was I was told that doing like 1.5 grams of psilocybin would be like a really good starting point for shrooms to try it, to like ease my way into it. So I was able to get bags of dried psilocybin, or I mean, I think they were dry. When you eat them, they're crunchy. They taste like veggie chips or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was dry. Because I wanted like the full heroic experience, like I wanted to go on a, they taste like shit. I didn't think they tasted bad at all. I thought they were fine. It was like literally just like veggie chips or whatever. So, after doing, I decided I didn't want to do 1.5. I was going to do the full, I think it's 3.5 is what they were in each bag. So I did 3.5. The first phase of doing it, it felt like like I was high on marijuana. That's basically what it felt like. So, I was kind of, like things were giggly and I was a little lightheaded or whatever. I don't think they had like fully kicked in yet. Maybe that's just like the first part. But I got really worried that when that started happening, I got worried that I was gonna miss like the actual heroic journey. So I did another bag, which was, so that put me up to 7. And then like 5 minutes later, I said, fuck it, I want to go the full fucking distance. And I did another 3.5. And I'm pretty sure that should get me to wherever the fuck it's possible to go on shrooms. Unless more would help. I don't know if more would do anything. But, so yeah, eventually we did the full 10.5. So this is what I think happened, but I don't fully know. I think that right after I did the next 2 bags, I think the first bag actually kicked in because I started to get like the psychedelic experience that I've heard in like cartoons and movies so often. So like a color would appear on the TV screen, and then like that color would explode along all the walls, and I would feel lights behind me that were shining that color. And it was like a very groovy like cartoon-esque experience. I know I could be wrong, but that seemed like the first bag of shrooms, like the kind of fun whatever experience. But pretty soon after that, shit got incredibly fucking real. I think that groovy thing, from what I've read, sounds like the one bag of just getting like the groovy psychedelic experience. But then after the other 2 kicked in, which was pretty shortly after, I feel like that only took 15 or 20 minutes. Man, shit got insane. So I think the first thing that happened was I think the experience that I felt was kind of like I died. So a lot of what happened involved a lot of loops. I don't know, I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can, but there were so many loops that I went through. The first thing was I started to lose my sense of myself existing, and I kind of started to replay these like 4 nondescript images in my head of going around and around and around. And the idea that I kept trying to hang on to, so originally I was trying to remember who I was and what I was doing there, what was going on. But the upsetting part, or the scariest part of this, it sounds like the scary part is the part where you realize you're dying, but the actual scary part was that realization didn't actually matter, that there was no one to realize that you were dying. You were just some passive entity observing random shit that was beyond existence. You no longer, and that, but there was like a little part of me that, like, I tried to fight that feeling very fucking hard because I absolutely do not want to die. I repeated a lot of phrases as I came in and out of lucidity, and I think the number one phrase that I repeated was I kept saying to Reckful, "Don't let me die, don't let me die, don't let me die." I think I said that like a million fucking times because I really didn't want to die, but then eventually, like, and again, it's not that it didn't feel like I experienced death. It felt like I experienced the stage after death where there's no one left to experience death. It sounds really weird to say. I can't give you like a good description of this type of conscious experience because it was like beyond consciousness. Once I passed that, once I got through that loop, the next loop was picking up my phone, and then every time I would look at things, it wasn't reality. I could tell that none of my senses were giving me real information, but then I couldn't tell if any of the information or memories that I ever had were ever real information either. So I would pick up my phone, I would look around the room, and everything was not real, but it didn't matter that it wasn't real because whatever I used to be that could perceive things as real was just as real as the unreal shit that I was experiencing then and there. All through I'm going this, there are like parts of me inside of me that this is an absolutely horrible experience. This is the worst mental experience that I've ever had in my entire life. This might be because I'm so attached to living that I absolutely just don't want to die. And the scary part was losing the part of me that didn't want to die. So as I continued to loop through these thoughts, I was lost in this tunnel of nothing mattering, and whatever I used to be, it's kind of like the same thing again, where I went through this tunnel again of whoever I used to be didn't really exist, or if it did exist, that was just as real as all of the fake senses that I was experiencing at that point in time. And I kept coming back into consciousness, but the way that I would observe reality was detached from myself. It was like I was watching the entity that was me live reality, and everything that I did was just, it could have been any number of realities because I kept coming back into reality, and it felt like I kept stepping back into other realities, but any reality could have been as real as who I was before, what was going on. And then it got to the point to where my entire existence became this room. This was the previous parts of the trip were so bad, but this might have been the absolute worst part of the trip, was when I felt like my entire eternity, I spent multiple eternities in this room, that the totality of my existence was living lifetimes in this room, of being on this couch and experiencing reality after reality that were all just as legitimate as any reality that I had ever experienced at any point in my life. There were times where I would wake up on the couch and I would look over at Becca and Reckful, and they would say things to me in my mind. They weren't really saying it, but they would say things to me in my mind, and the perception I had
was that I was a crazy person my entire previous life had been a delusion. That I wasn't a streamer or any of that. I was just some crazy fucking dude that was living through lifetimes on this couch. And Becca and Reckful were just kind of there, and I was like a guy that was maybe just in their apartment, and I was just insane. And everything about my previous life I had just totally fantasized, and they were very condescending. This is all in my head. They were very condescending to me. In like, he's a crazy person. Oh, that's cute. He's coming back for a little bit. He's gonna go back to his previous life of being a streamer pretty soon. That kind of like insane condescension. Now they weren't actually saying this. And then I started to, and then there was another part of this where every single person in the room started to gaslight my existence. So Reckful, as he was like trip-sitting me or whatever, kept asking me, because I would keep coming back into lucidity for a brief moment, and I would ask him like, is it real yet? Oh, I remember when I was going through the death tunnels, when I would briefly slip back into lucidity, I was asking like, are we done? I need to pass this. I don't like this. I hate this. I'm dying. Don't let me die. How much longer? I need to get done with this. The worst thing is that I would ask, oh God, I remember early on I asked how much longer, and somebody told me, you've only been here for 30 minutes. But it had already felt like eternities that I'd been trapped. So when I heard that it's only been 30 minutes and I had like 5 hours to go, that was another like a feeling of horrendous dread washed over my body, because I had already felt like I had like experienced eternities of anguish of being dead. Oh my God, it was such an insane experience. Okay, so I would come back in. For these moments of lucidity where I would ask Reckful if it was real, he would say yes, but then his eyes would begin flickering at like 1,000,000 times per second, and I started to see his face and the people in the room, this is gonna sound so ridiculous, but I saw them in like 3 dimensions. The way that their faces and everything popped out at me was such an insanely 3-dimensional experience. I felt like everything I'd seen up to that point in my life had only been 2 dimensions, but they were actually in 3 dimensions when I saw them, which is kind of ironic because you technically really only do see in 2 dimensions, but like, it was just an insane, it was the way that they appeared and stood out like 3-dimensional characters was just so fucking insane to me. I can't really explain this. It's impossible for me to explain. It's like, if you watch like a 2D movie and then you put on 3D glasses, you know how it jumps out at you? Now imagine you're looking at normal reality and then you put on like 4D glasses and it jumps out at you again. That's what it felt like I was looking at. It's impossible to explain. But Reckful kept trying to ask me questions. Oh, here's another really interesting part. Reckful kept trying to, okay, so I would look at my phone and it would be like 8:52, and then I would lose it. I'd go back, and then I would experience lifetimes of death in this room, and I would pick up my phone and look at it again, and only a minute had passed. Like, it felt like I was experiencing eternities, and it would only tick by 1 minute at a time, and then I'd put the phone down, and I would experience like another eternity of being trapped in this room, and all these people around me that weren't real, that were just parts of my mind that continued to gaslight my existence. Do you remember asking questions? Yeah, actually, after I remembered most of the things that I said in real life, because once I became fully lucid, once it started to wear off, I was able to kind of disentangle what was trippy versus what I was actually saying. Which I thought was cool. I'm really good at keeping my memory through things for whatever reason. Like when I did like edibles, I kept my memory through it. When I get like super fucking blasted drunk, I seem to keep my memory through it. Maybe I just haven't done enough stuff to totally lose my memory, but like I remember very vividly everything that happened, and I'm pretty sure I remember what was real and what wasn't. Oh God, there were so many fucked up parts. The scariest part, I don't know what the scariest part was. All of it was so horrible. Oh, I think I already said this. I kept coming back into reality, but I felt like a third-party observer to my reality. And then, like, Becca would look at me and she would say, like, you're back. This is it. This is your reality now. This is what you wanted. The rest of your life is going to feel this way. She wasn't actually saying this. It was just in my head. But, No, that wasn't Becca, actually. It was Reckful that was saying it to me. He was saying that, like, you're back. Congratulations. This is what you wanted. This is reality now. And I was watching myself as an entity do things, but I clearly knew that it wasn't reality before. So I thought what had happened was I took the shrooms and they woke me up to the real reality, which was that there was no reality. And every time I kept coming back into lucidity, I realized that everything is this lack of reality, that nothing means anything, and there was no reality. And it was just a horrible experience. And I kept getting worried that I would wake up and I would go back to living my life as a third-party observer, because the shrooms would have unlocked some part of my mind that would have shown me that nothing was real anymore, and I would never be satisfied again. This was, I got worried about killing myself at this point, because I wouldn't have been able to live this way. If I had the means to kill myself, I actually probably would have during this trip. I really think I don't know. I say that I would have, but there was no way that I could, like, control my body. Like, I don't think I would have been able to physically, but I would have wanted to, because I felt like I kept coming back into reality, and it wasn't real anymore to me. It just, nothing was real. I knew that it was all fake. I knew that every part of reality wasn't real anymore. Oh, God. Okay, where were we? Reckful kept trying to ask me questions. Oh, so, like, I would wake up for a brief second, and I would tell Reckful, this was the worst part was the waves. Oh my God, coming in and out and in and out and in and out of lucidity was the easiest way to make me doubt my existence or my reality, because I couldn't trust any of my senses. This was the number one takeaway, was that not being able to trust my senses totally made me lose grasp of what was real. There was two problems. One was not being able to trust my senses, and then two was losing my cognitive functions. Because without oh God, it was so horrible to just lose that. Because I was just an entity observing myself, right? So sorry. Where were we? Okay, so Reckful kept asking me questions. So I would come to very brief moments of lucidity, and I would say what, like, is it real yet? Am I back yet? I don't want to do this anymore. Please don't let me die. Is it real yet? And he would say, yeah, it's real. And I'm like, don't let me go. I'm slipping away again. And Reckful would, like, shake me to be like, where are you going? And I would just completely slip back into it. And then I would experience, like, another lifetime in this room. And after, like, what felt like months of time, I would come back and I would say, oh God, I'm back. Don't let me go again. Don't let me die. Is it real yet? But when I watched the video of myself experiencing this, it was like 1 second. This is the most mind-blowing part to me, is that when he showed me the video, I would say, like, oh God, is it real? Oh God. And then I would slip out and I'd come back 1 second later and go, is it real yet? But, like, for me personally, it felt like I was experiencing months of time in between these questions. Oh my God. Watching that on video was insane to me. It was so mind-blowing. Then I got to a part where, because Reckful kept asking me questions, I started to get this feeling that he was actually asking himself questions. And then I started to come to the realization that I had actually traveled there as a figment of Reckful's mind. I was some part of his brain that he was trying to understand and get rid of. And that's why he kept shaking me and asking me questions. Where are you going? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And as I started to feel like I was him, I started to have these mental delusions where all of these people around me were talking about me and at me, and they were destroying my understanding of existence. And they kept making references to things that I had learned about in the past. I'm not going to talk about it now, but like the experience machine, if you're into philosophy, Becca spoke about that. Not really, this is all in my head still. And then it was the experience machine, it was the ego death, and then there was, there was one more reference that they made. But like some little part of me kept thinking that they were, that these parts were coming from my mind. But basically, they kept saying things like, then again, I want to stress, they weren't actually saying these things. But like, Reckful would like say to me, he started to say all these things that made me doubt that I was actually an independent person. So like, he would say things like you're a big streamer, right? You get a lot of viewers, that's why we know each other, right? How did you get here? Isn't it kind of weird that we don't really know each other that well, but here we are doing shrooms, huh? How did you actually get here? Did you really drive to LA? That's a really long drive. Why would you drive instead of fly? That's so dumb. How do we even know each other? You had a Twitter account and we spoke, but we don't speak there anymore because you don't have it anymore. You think you have a son, right? Do you really? What does he look like? Is Aaron or Rachel the mom? Do you even know the difference between these two people? Do you even really have a child? When was the last time? Like all of these things. And every time he would say something to make me doubt my existence, I would think of something in my head to prove him wrong, but then another person in the room would say it right before I thought it, like, oh, he's gonna bring up that he knows what he looks like. Oh, he's gonna bring this up. And like they were talking to each other like, oh, it's so cute that that all of this works for him. How convenient is that? Like, oh yeah, of course this is why you did that. Keep telling yourself that. And it was like, oh my God. This idea that my mind was trying to convince me that my entire existence was a facade was so absolutely fucking horrible. Sometime in here, I don't know if it was before or after, I think I already said it, like I would wake up on this couch and Reckful and Becca would look at each other and they would like kiss each other and be like, oh, he's waking up again, that's cute. Like, go back to being Steven for a while. Go back to your dreams, it's okay. Oh my God, it was so fucking horrible. Oh God, it was so horrible. But then like, I had these two, oh my God. I had these two. This is the only part that makes me wish I did more, but I don't know if it's possible. Wait, am I lagging right now? Wait. How much got cut off? What was the last thing I said? You had these two, and then it got cut off. Are we good? This is the only part. You wish you did more. Okay. Yeah. So the only thing that made me wish that maybe I could have done more or should have done more was to get more of this. I had two transcendent experiences. I had two transcendent experiences. So this was so one of the weird parts of this was that oh God, Mr. Mooten called me. Mr. Mooten called me at some point during this trip, and Aaron might have actually. I don't remember. Oh God, I think I talked to both of them, and they said something, but whatever somebody said to me, I heard it a million times in my head. And so I started to think that all of my prior memories and interactions with people were just soundboards. That Mr. Mooten would say like, hey dude, are you all right? Are you okay? And I heard that. I think I talked to him. He said that he only talked to me. He said he only said this a couple times, but I heard it in my head a million times. So I started to think that all of my memories, I had just created soundboards of people, and every time I needed to reassure myself of my existence, I would just play the soundboard again, and I would hear these things a million times in my head, and I'd convinced myself that these people weren't real. I was just hearing it over and over and over again. Oh God. So what was? Oh, okay. The transcendent experiences. So I got to okay, has anybody, I don't know how to explain this. I really wonder how much is influenced by shit we've seen in the past. Okay, so if you've ever seen Scott Pilgrim Against the Universe or whatever, that movie, this will give you like, this is the best way that I can describe this. For some reason, Becca, I don't know, I don't like Becca, or not, it's not like I don't like her, I don't really know Becca that well, or at least I didn't before this. I still probably don't. I've probably seen more of her in my mind than actually her. But Becca became like my spiritual guide through this journey, where she became like this Ramona-esque figure in my mind, so for some reason I became like really fixated on her, and she was like trying to help me piece together back like who I was. And I kept getting stuck in these horrible fucking loops, and I would come back and I would ask her like, am I still in a loop? Am I still in a loop again? And she would say, yes, you're in a loop. And I would say like, I think that this is really important, but I don't understand why. And then I would get lost in the loop again, and I would come back and I would say, I feel like I've been here a million times before. How do I get out of this loop? And she would keep telling me like, you need to figure it out. Like, this is for you. You have to figure this out. You need to break this loop or you'll be stuck here for an eternity. And I had this horrible feeling where every time I would come back that I had been there a million times before. And I was worried, and I would get worried that I was going to be trapped there forever, but then I would lose the part of me that should have been worried. And then I would come back, and I would be worried again. Not that I was worried that I would lose myself, but that I was worried that the part that cared about me losing myself would disappear again. And the two transcendent moments that I had were Becca, or the version of Becca in my head telling me that I needed to figure out why I was there, what the reason I came for there was. And she was asking me these questions in my mind. She wasn't really asking me these questions, but she was asking me these questions in my mind. Like, why did you come here? Who are you here for? I remember me saying this in real life, but it came across much different in my dream. Because eventually what Becca had helped me figure out in my head was that the reason I was there was for myself. I wasn't there for my audience. I wasn't there for my stream. I wasn't there for my kid. I wasn't there for anybody that I loved. I wasn't there to prove anything to anybody else. I was there for myself. And then in real life, I think I said to Reckful, he showed me this in the video, I said, I think I'm my own best therapist. And I remember Reckful saying in real life, anybody for you would be a better therapist than yourself. And I remember everybody laughing. I remember him saying that in real life, and I remember me saying that in real life. But it had felt like at that time that realization had been really important to me. And I remember saying to Becca in my mind again, like, this is a really important moment, isn't it? And she said, yes, this is the most important moment. And that experience of talking to her in my head and questioning why I had gotten there was I keep saying transcendent, but it felt like I was at some other dimension where I was questioning my entire purpose of why I was there in my life, okay? Then I remember I was stuck on the couch again. I remember that I was stuck on the couch again, and everybody was talking and existing, and then I had this feeling where I was like, I am a passive observer to my own existence, but I need to not be. That I don't want my ego to die, and I need to escape this experience. But I absolutely did not want to get up. I could not connect myself to my body. I could not stand again. But then I thought, I really don't want to or can't stand. And this experience of not being able to, maybe this overwhelming dread that I'm feeling right now, maybe this is the part that I have to overcome to break the loops. So finally, I was able to stand up, and Reckful stood up with me, and we walked over to a mirror because I had to look at the mirror to see that we were two actual separate people. That was a really important part, that I wasn't Reckful. That looking into the mirror and seeing both of us there as two separate people was a huge part of establishing my identity again as a person that had always existed and has existed. And then I went into the bathroom and I closed the door and I locked the door. And this is where and then I had like my second transcendent experience of talking to myself in the mirror. And this was the part where I was questioning, why did you come here? Did you get what you wanted? Is this actually what you wanted? Did you prove anything to anybody? Do you feel like you survived this experience? Do you feel like you've actually got a good grasp on reality? Was your grasp on reality as strong as you thought it was? Do you feel like making this journey? So, it was all these incredibly self-reflective questions, and I felt like I was talking to myself in the mirror, and but not talking to myself, talking to another version of myself that represented some deeper part of my mind. And then after I came out of that bathroom, I felt like I had found myself again, and that I had survived this journey through my mind of understanding that I was only there for myself, that I had existed, that everything I did was because I wanted to do it, that I had survived the journey, that I had gone on exactly the trip that I wanted to go on, and that I had accomplished everything that I wanted to accomplish going through this journey. Whoa, holy shit. So I think I got almost everything there. Hopefully that helps you understand a little bit more when I say that it was the worst experience of my entire life, but it was such an experience. I am so fucking happy I did it. I could never have experienced anything like that at any point ever. There's just no way. There's no other passable words to describe, or I can't even explain it in words. Holy fuck. And then when I came back on the couch, I think it was around 1 a.m., and I started to come back into existence again, I could feel I felt like it was actually reality again. And I don't know why. Oh, I missed a couple parts. Reckful laughed at me for this. Something that I've done all my life was lucid dreaming. I don't do this as a big meditation, I want to listen. It's just something I've always done since I was young. And as I was tripping and questioning my reality, there were a couple things that I would do that I had done while I lucid dream in order to in order to test if what I was experiencing was real. So while I was like hardcore tripping balls, one of the things that I asked Reckful to do was I kept asking Reckful, please do your autistic number thing, because I don't know all the doubles. But if you do it, I know enough to know what that I can fact check you. I know like how to do it approximately, but you can do it exactly. And so like he would do his autistic number to like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, up to numbers, and he got to points where like I couldn't possibly know these doubles. And so I think that these are parts of reality. But then I heard the girl talking in the background where she was saying, "Wow, Steven, isn't it convenient? Isn't it convenient that all these doubles are working out? Like, what even is a double? Like, if he was saying things that weren't double, would you actually know this?" And then the other guy was saying things like, "It's so funny that he thinks that this is actually a verifiable double. There's no way that he can actually know what a double is, but for some reason he really thinks he does." And like, oh, dude, your mind gaslighting you out of your own reality is just such an inconceivable experience. I just can't put into words how absolutely fucking horrible it feels when your mind is trying to convince you that you don't exist and that everything is fake. There were a couple other like funny. Oh, I kept, the other thing that I do, so two things I do, I said Manafort like a million times to Reckful. I remember saying it in my delusions, and I think in reality, and Reckful told me I did, because I kept trying to get new information. Tell me something that I couldn't possibly know. Give me like a new piece of information that I couldn't possibly know, so that I know that this is reality again, because I can't make this stuff up. But then my mind kept making me second guess myself, like, well, how do you know you're not making this up? You could be writing your own reality as you go along. How could you possibly know whether it's real or not? I would pick up my phone a couple times and I would ask to check my subreddit. That was another way I wanted to check parts of reality, because I don't think I could make up that much. What else was there? Oh, and then the second thing was making people very uncomfortable in real life is another way that I can test my reality. This is what I do when I'm dreaming to make sure that I don't lose grasp of reality. So like if there's an attractive girl, if I try to fuck the girl in my dreams, I'll always be able to. But if it's real life, I obviously would be able to. So like if I make a ridiculous request of a woman, then I can know like, oh, well, you know, I'm clearly dreaming. And I remember that, oh God, I remember that I said something to Becca along those lines, like, come over here and lay on me or something. And then she would tell me, I'm not really comfortable with that. And then like when she said that, it was like an explosion of lucidity to me. And I remember thinking, I was like, thank you. I'm so grateful that you said that. Thank you so much. Like, this helps me know that this is real. Oh my God, dude, it was such a mind-fucking experience. Oh my fucking God. And then I would ask to touch her hand, because I would say, like, I don't know what your hand feels like. Can I touch your hand to know that I'm experiencing something that I couldn't possibly know again? Holy shit, dude. Man, on some levels, like, I wish that, I want to say, okay, holy fuck, please be very careful, understand what I'm saying. I would never recommend anybody do this, because Jesus fuck, was it a terrifying experience. And if you have if you're prone to like anxiety or paranoia, I don't know if this would fucking destroy you. I can't possibly know that, because there were moments in this trip, like the death moments, where I felt like I had existed in some previous eternity that didn't matter and therefore wasn't real, and then I had eternities to travel through where I would never make it out. Even if there was a light at the end of the tunnel, it didn't matter, because there were multiple eternities between me and that tunnel at the end. So even if there was a way to eventually get through the shrooms, it wouldn't matter, because there were eternities before me, before I would ever reach that point. Oh God. So like, on one hand, I would want to say, don't ever trip like this, because it is such a negative experience, and I don't know if like everybody could get through it, but I mean, I imagine most people could. But if you want to do it, oh my God, it is an experience unlike anything you will ever experience in your entire life. Oh God. Okay. I remember after I was finally becoming lucid again, when I got out of the crazy shroom part, I went back to the marijuana high for a while, where I just felt very giggly and lightheaded. And Reckful was like looking at me, and all I could do was like look at him and laugh, because I knew there was no way that I could ever communicate what I had just experienced to him. And I kept saying, like, oh my God, like, you should have come for the ride. You should have come along. He kept asking me, after I did the second and third dose, he kept asking me, like, should I do it? Do you want me to come? But I kept saying no, that I was scared that, like, he would not like it, that he would kill himself. It was really funny. Reckful is such a cold motherfucker. We're very similar in those regards. And even though he wasn't doing it for me, I am so grateful. Everybody else there was telling me that I absolutely should not take 2 more bags, that it would be a horrible fucking idea, that I absolutely should not do 2 more bags. But Reckful really wanted to know what it was like, so he kind of like egged me on. Like, he kept telling me to do it, and I did it, and I wanted to. I so wanted to. But if Reckful wasn't there, I absolutely would not have been able to, because no one else would have let me do it. But Reckful, I think, just because Reckful wanted to know what it was like, he kept egging me on to do it. And I, oh God, I'm so fucking happy. And I think if I would have tripped with any other person, I don't think Devin would have let me go as fucking hard as I wanted to go. I don't know if I would let somebody go. Actually, I don't think I would. Oh no, I don't think I would, because Lily, because I was trying to explain this experience to Lily, and she was saying that, like, oh dude, like, I really want to do this. And I said, like, I don't think I could let you. I don't think I would want you to do it. If I was around you, I don't think I would want you to do this much. I'm so glad it was Reckful, because I don't think any other human would have let me consume 10.5 grams of dried psilocybin. I don't think anyone else would let me do it. Oh God. Okay. Oh, the 2 other things that I kept repeating while coming back, 3 other things. So I said a million times, don't let me die. Please don't let me die. I'm dying. Don't let me die. Don't let me die. I said that a million times. Another thing I kept saying, like, where is Manafort? Or tell me about Manafort, because I was testing reality. Another thing was, I kept saying, when I would come back, I kept saying, are we streaming? We should be streaming this. We gotta stream this. We should be streaming this. I said that a million times because I wanted to capture the experience on stream. I wish I streamed it. Oh, fuck. I absolutely wish I streamed it. Oh my God, that would have been so fascinating to watch. In the early parts of my marijuana high, Reckful asked if we wanted to go to an Airbnb, but I slipped into the crazy fucking shroom high. I'm really glad I did, because if I would have been traveling while that shroom shit happened, I wasn't able to move. There's no possible way I could have transported my body. I was so disconnected from reality. Every single sensation that I had, that I was experiencing, well, which was actually only sight and sound. I don't remember smelling anything, and I couldn't feel, like, touch things until, like, until like 4 or 5 hours through my trip. I wouldn't have been able to transport myself. How would I have possibly moved? How would I have possibly? There's no way. I was completely disconnected from reality. I wish I would have streamed it though. So I kept asking him to stream. Reckful started to lie to me, and he was saying, like, oh dude, we're streaming, you've got 7,000 viewers. And then I remember saying like 5 times, like, oh no, we shouldn't have streamed. Lily wanted to stream tonight. I'm probably taking all of her viewers, aren't I? I remember saying that a few times. Fuck, what else? When I would trick my phone, I remember asking, like, am I shielded in Lord's Mobile? I asked that like 15 times too. My phone was my only tether to reality. You know, it's totally possible. I think that time moving in one direction, however slow it was moving, I think that having my phone and watching the numbers tick by, even if it felt like there were lifetimes between every tick of the clock, it felt like having that phone was the only thing that actually kept me tethered to reality. If I wouldn't have had that phone, I wonder if I would have actually slipped into insanity. I remember thinking that at some point. When I was hearing the voices of the other people in the room, gaslighting me, laughing at me, making fun of the fact that I actually thought I had real memories, making fun of the fact that I actually thought I had a son, and how insanely convenient it was that everything had wound up so perfectly in my life to take shrooms at this point, I remember thinking that this is actually what schizophrenia feels like. This is what it feels like to be a paranoid schizophrenic, that not only can I not make the voices stop, they will talk about me wanting to make them stop. That before I even have the thought of not wanting them to talk, that they will talk about me not wanting them to talk. And how cute it was that I thought that them talking wasn't all coming from my mind. I keep saying this a million times. I can't stress how unnerving it was. Oh, Chris in real life. Sorry. My other friend in real life. Fuck. I don't want to name names or whatever. Just because I don't know how much these people... They probably don't care, but, like, I'm trying to be respectful of the other people there. But the other guy in real life kept saying... He kept saying that, like, the problem is that he's stuck in a loop. But then I would have to tell Chris, please stop talking, because I know that I'm stuck in a loop. But then Chris would say, or he would say, the problem is he thinks he's stuck in a loop, but everything I'm saying, he thinks that I'm saying it because his mind is thinking it. But it was like infinitely recursive, because as he would say that, I would think, well, of course I'm gonna think that he's gonna say that I would think that he's saying it, because it's all coming from my mind. And of course he would know that I'm gonna think that he's gonna think that I'm gonna think that he's saying it, because it's all oh my god, this is like it was all the worst part. Every single part of it was the worst part, because every part was horrible, because everything, oh my god, holy shit. And it's so exciting to like remember this. I remember everything so vividly. I love how fucking delusional I was. It was so crazy to be so disconnected from reality. Oh my god. Was any of it on video? The worst parts of my trip, where I was actually experiencing death, a disconnect from my body, and just going through one of the worst loops. They were all the worst loops, but one of the worst loops, going through death over and over again. I don't think they caught that on the thing. I remember Reckful. I remember him saying it in real life. Now that I'm out of the experience, I can disentangle what was real and what was fake. I remember him saying in real life, like, wow, now we're not streaming this because the whole mood has changed. Because originally I was really happy as I kind of was on that marijuana high, but when I slipped into death, the mood very clearly changed. I was not happy. I kept saying, like, I want this to be done. Get this out of me. How do we stop? I don't want to do this anymore. Please don't let me die. Like, as I said that over and over again. Oh shit, sorry, what happened? The stream lagged for 5 seconds? Reckful's mood changed, where he kept saying, I'm glad that I decided not to stream because I don't want to stream this anymore. The mood changed. It was when I slipped from my marijuana high to actually like being dead. Because then instead of being like kind of happy and giggly, I just started saying, when I was in like the death loop, I kept saying like, please don't let me die. I don't want to experience this anymore. I made a mistake. Get me out of here. I don't want to do this. Please don't let me die. How much longer? Get me out of here. I don't want to experience this. And he got like, his mood wasn't good anymore. Do you feel like you have a greater appreciation for life post-trip? No. In my mind, in the two transcendent moments that I had in my mind, when I was talking to Becca, who was like my spiritual guide, and then when I spoke to a deeper version of myself in the mirror in the bathroom, it felt like I was asking myself, why did you come here? Did you make a mistake? What is your purpose for coming here? Are you trying to prove something to somebody? Do you really want to exist? Do you really treasure your existence above all else? And every time, in both of these transcendent moments, as I like explored the inner parts of my mind, I kept me coming out of the ego death, I guess. I don't like to use that word because I don't really know, but like me coming out of that and piecing back together my existence was like an affirmation of every single thing I thought going into the trip. That's what it was. That's what the journey felt like to me. It was realizing that I had gone on this journey for myself, that I actually do exist as myself, that I do value my existence over every other thing, and that there was nothing spiritual, or there was nothing past existence, or there was no part of the universe that cared about me, that I was just there as myself. I had made every decision to get me to that point, to go on that trip, and that I had experienced and journeyed through something that it was completely my desire to do, if that makes sense. So I guess like, so when you ask me if I got a better appreciation of my life, I guess like the thing that I'm most grateful about was that I came out the other end exactly as I went into it, after having experienced everything that I did while on the journey. Does that make sense? Holy shit. Oh my god. What movie has better captured the experience? This is the part that I can't communicate with you. And, oh god, the experience of coming back to reality as a passive observer where you do not exist anymore. You are just watching the existence of something else. Imagine watching a TV screen, and now imagine trying to exist as those people, but you can't do it. You don't exist. You don't exist as those people. You're just like you're an unconscious entity that is watching it. But not only do you not exist, you can't remember why you want to exist. You can't remember why you even care that you don't exist. You can't remember what parts of you even want to be those people. You're just a nondescript entity that is watching these things happen through a TV screen, and you can't even remember the parts of you that wanted to be that person anymore. This is the hardest part to explain. Maybe this is the ego death. Maybe this is the ego death part that I can't communicate this to you. The parts where you no longer exist, but it's more than just thinking I don't exist. It's losing the part of you that would even acknowledge the fact that you don't exist. We're back, Pog? Okay, what did I cut off at? I think it was like that was the ego death, right? Yeah, okay. My personal, oh fuck, what was I gonna say? I was saying like my personal test, I wanted to exist, and that fleeting feeling was like the infinitesimally small part of me that carried me through that trip from start to finish that I completely lost during the ego death. And as the mushroom started to wear off, like 2 or 3 hours in, as I started to fight back to lucidity, that little part of me that valued my existence above all other things was like the little part of me that was the part that kept trying to break the loops, that kept trying to like rebuild my ego and to keep trying to come back into existence. Like that was like that was the journey, I guess, was finding that part of me again. I wish I could explain. The weird thing is that like, oh God, how much of my phone did I see was real? The weird part is that even during the parts that like after I looked at the mirror and I saw me and Reckful were actually two separate people. When I went into the bathroom and then I had like that last transcendent experience of talking to myself in that mirror, talking to another version of myself. When I came back out, like everywhere I put my hand, my phone would appear there again. Like I stepped forward and then there was a box and I went to reach for that box and then my phone was on it and I picked it up and I looked at it and then I walked into the room and then my phone would appear on the table and I picked it up and looked at it and then I would sit on the couch and underneath me I would pick up my phone. Like it kept appearing in front of me. So I wonder how much of me looking at my phone was even real. And I remember very vividly the two messages. Mr. Mooten and Aaron had like messaged me during that trip, and I remember both their messages. I think Mr. Mooten was like, "Are you okay, homie?" And then Aaron had sent me like a longer message on Discord, the first part, and I remember seeing those over and over again. Oh my God. Holy shit. Okay, that's it. That's like, I think that's everything. I got like every part of that. If you ever do this, please, for the love of God, be careful. If I had, okay, I will say this. I will be very strong in this statement, and I never thought I would say this. If I had the means to kill myself in reality while I was dead, I definitely would have done it. I 100% would have killed myself because I was dead. I was absolutely dead, and whoever I was as a person was a very distant entity that was no longer associated with me, that was totally irrelevant. So if I had the means to kill myself while in the darkest parts of that trip, I absolutely would have killed myself. 100%. I know I would have. No. I can't say no I would have, but like that would have been the feeling if I had some way of doing it in real life, I think. Was Reckful happy that I did it? Reckful was happy that I did it because he respects my intelligence as a person, and so hearing me describe it to him was very satisfying in a way, because he said, like, I'm glad that you're not just like some druggy stoner bro that's saying you went to another dimension. Like, my description for him was good, but then he also says that I don't know if I should tell you this because I don't know how much is personal to him, actually. I'm gonna assume he won't mind if I say this, but like, he was saying that like, he was scared. I mean, it's not like we do. He was saying that like, he really wishes now that he had experienced that, but he was really scared of being locked into eternities. That's something that he told me. And I told him that like, that was absolutely the most horrifying part. So he says that like, he would want to experience it for himself, but that he was scared of having to deal with like eternity. I don't think he would care if I would say that. That he was scared of like having to experience eternities or whatever. Him and Destiny on 3 gamers each would have been fine. I don't know, dude. Like I said, I could be totally wrong. Maybe the trip would have been just as intense, but like, I really did feel like the first bag kicked in, and I was just, the experience was very artsy. Like, there was like a Disney movie on, and like when the colors would change on the screen, like, whoa, hey buddy, holy shit, that dude is falling asleep. The colors would change on the screen, and like there would be like colors would explode in like flower patterns along the wall, and all of the lights around me, where there weren't even lights, would all shine in different colors to match what was on the TV, and everything around me was just this was like the classic psychedelic experience that I've seen like in movies and cartoons, where everything is like really trippy, and you're super happy, and you're watching these experiences unfold before your eyes of all these colors. If that would have been my only experience, I would have been incredibly unhappy. I would have been so dissatisfied. I have no interest in that trippy kind of experience and seeing lots of colors. It's so boring to me compared to the experience that I had of the 10.5 grams of psilocybin. Oh my god, that was just okay. Were you like crying, or your body couldn't express the emotions? When I actually finished the journey, I don't cry. It's just not something that I really experience. I don't know how to explain that. It's really hard to explain. But when I came out, like, I think my eyes were like watery, but I was just exhausted. I was mentally and physically exhausted. One, because I probably hadn't eaten in 12 hours, but two, just the journeys that I had been on through my mind to live through to experience so many lifetimes in 6 hours, to go through so much excruciating anguish just left me completely destroyed when I started to come back into lucidity. Oh yeah, I did it on a completely empty stomach because I wanted to, I wanted to go the distance. I'm so glad I did everything I did. I did everything the worst way possible. I was around people that I wasn't really comfortable with. I was in an unknown environment. I was on a completely empty stomach. I did my 10.5 grams re-dosing. Reckful was like shaking me and asking me questions the entire time. Dude, it was the worst experience ever. I loved every second of it. Not while I was going through it though. It was horrible while I was going through it. But now that I experienced it, oh my god, it was so amazing. It was such an amazing experience. Oh, fuck. Do you think there's a middle ground? There might be, but I'm not a middle ground kind of person. The thing is that, and I said this on stream before, I am so happy and content in my normal life. There are things that I question about my existence, like, am I too alone? Is there like a woman that I should be searching for my life? Do I need more friends? Like, these are questions that I kind of ask myself, on a day-to-day basis, and I've thought about it a lot more over the past month, but in general, I'm an incredibly content person. I love existing. I would never, ever not exist. Ever. I love my existence, every second of it. So I wanted to understand, what would it feel like for your mind to hate yourself and to hate your mind and to experience actual mental anguish that I have never experienced before. So that's what I wanted going into this. I didn't want a happy experience. I wanted the worst trip that I could possibly get myself without actually dying. That was my goal going in. I wanted that experience, and I think I got that experience. Oh my god. Would this be a beneficial experience for a psychiatrist to help gain perspective? I don't know, dude. I can't recommend it to anybody else. It was such... The thing is that, like, the trip... Oh! There was actually a really important part. I just remembered. There was a really important part that was destroying my mind. I don't know if this is part of it or not. This is... Oh, God, I need to talk to more people to do this, because I'm curious how much was personal to me versus how much wasn't. There were so many parts where I felt like, as part of my trip, that when I became briefly lucid, I felt like I was the star of my own reality TV show. And that was like the most important part of like the mental delusion. I felt like when everybody would look at me and this was like, there are so many things that these people would do that was like, they were trying to help, but it was so bad for my mind. Like, everybody would look at me and I would keep thinking that like, oh God, like everybody's paying attention to me. Like, it's just, I'm creating a reality show for myself. Like, and I remember like in my brief moments of lucidity, I would say like Rebecca and Reckful, like you two, like like go back to kissing and being in your relationship. And I talked to her like, just talk to yourself. Please don't look at me. Don't look at me. That's something that I said a lot. Stop paying attention to me. Don't look at me. Don't stop looking at me, because I didn't want to feel like I was creating a reality where everything revolved around me. That was something that I felt very strongly a number of times. Yeah, holy shit. Did you ever question your name like it didn't mean anything? No, I don't think so, no. Nothing about my name was ever important during the trip. Did you see a dreadfully distinct white fountain? No, I don't think I saw like any, there were no like specific objects. The most important like object like thing was just being trapped in the room. Being stuck in that room and experiencing lifetimes of loops in that room was like the thing that I remembered the most. But there were no like, how did he not get sick after eating as much as he did? Oh, I don't know. That's a really good question. Because most of the other people there told me that like when you eat mushrooms, you get really nauseous after initially, but then the nausea goes away. But I never got nauseous at all. I never experienced nausea at all. I don't know why, but I just didn't. Would I ever trip like that again? Fuck no. Never again. Holy shit. The loops are so scary. Yeah. The thing that excites me the most is that, the thing that I love the most is that the only thing I read about this was like ego death, but I didn't read anything about like the loops or any of that. I had no idea. So going in with oh God, there are so many things that everybody would have said was bad that I'm so grateful for. Like a lot of people, I'm gonna see Starbucks 7, I know hot chocolate. A lot of people kept telling me like, you need to read up on like what the trip and everything's more. I not knowing what I was going to expect made everything so much more scary. Because I'm worried like if I would have known about the loops, what if I would have broke them easier and I wouldn't have gotten that like existential dread being trapped in the loop over and over again, you know? I'm so glad that I went in like knowing nothing at such an extreme dose. Did you get obsessed with how you could trigger loops, or did you not find a way to? I don't think I ever found a way to like trigger loops. Did you describe how Becca was your spirit guide early, Destiny, if I missed it? So the thing was that like Becca became like Ramona in Scott Pilgrim. Like she was the one initially. These were the two transcendent experiences. The first one was like, I was talking to Becca, trying to figure out why I was there. And it felt like she was trying to help me, like, break the loops. Like, she was asking me questions, and she was telling me that, like, it was possible to get out, that I needed to figure out for myself how to do it. It felt like something like that. Yeah, it was really, really weird. I don't know how much of that. No, all of it couldn't have been reality. A lot of that was in my head because she was asking me things that I don't know her well enough for her to know things about me. Like she was asking me very personal questions, like, why did you come here? Like, are you happy that you did this? Like, this, and then when she was before that, when she was more malicious. But this wasn't the transcendent part. Like her in general saying things like, are you happy? This was when they were all gaslighting. Like, are you happy now? Like, this is what reality really is. This is existence now. Congratulations, you broke it. Now you realize that nothing is real. But that was when she was gaslighting. But during the transcendent part, she was like this spiritual guide that was like trying to help me like sort through everything and trying to help me like break the loops and get out of everything. What else could I compare it to? And I guess it almost felt like Tifa when Cloud is trying to put back his memories when he falls into the live stream, maybe? Or I guess Tifa goes in with him. That would be like another way that I can explain it, but do we have any persistent visual effects still present? No. Nothing like that. Thank God. Oh God. The visual things were so fucking weird. Watching Reckful talk to me with his face like fully three-dimensional. I don't know how to explain that. Like people look. Oh, the way that I explained this earlier is like, imagine you're looking at like a movie, and then you put on 3D glasses, and like everything jumps out at you, and it's very weird. It was like, imagine now you're looking at normal reality, and you put on 4D glasses, and everything jumps at you. That's what it was like. Oh God, yeah. I don't know how else to explain that. Holy shit. Somebody in chat said, according to data, doing a trip like that, but I couldn't read it all. I didn't see it all. Sorry, buddy. Did StarCraft have an appearance? No, nothing about StarCraft. Nothing about StarCraft. Nothing about League of Legends. Most of it was tied to like my reality and my existence. Like I said, I think the only reason Lord's Mobile came up was just because I was looking at my phone so much that was like my one tether to reality. You feel like you're more or less... Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry. Twitch chat is going like way too fast. I can't read it. Sorry. The cleanness of memories will fade real fast, sort of like dreams. I don't know, man. Do you really think so? There is a small part of me that wants to experience the ego death again. That's the only fleeting thing that kind of like stuck with me. But I don't think I actually want to. I think just because it's so hard to explain, it's so frustrating that like that's like the one part. Oh man, it's so bizarre. In some ways, I don't want to say this. I don't think everybody should do it, but in some ways I wish everybody did it so that we could all like acknowledge this experience, because like me trying to tell you about this is so impossible. Oh God, I have to talk to people. That's gonna be like when I get home. I just have to talk to a couple other people that did it. Like, oh man, the experience is so ridiculous. Holy shit. Do you think you'll ever be able to explain? I can't explain what not existing feels like. I can only use like metaphors and shit, but you'll never truly understand it until you experience it. And when I say that, I mean not experience it for yourself. Like, to become separated from your consciousness is impossible. Oh. Do you think that's what'll happen when you die? I hope not. Or, I mean, I have no idea. I can't really know what death is like. Did you talk to Becca in real life about anything of significance in your trip or whatever? Yeah, I mean, I talked to everybody after to apologize, because I'm sure I tried to grope one girl, and then I was like asking Becca uncomfortable things, but that was like my way of finding out like if things were real or not, because I know that like if somebody tells me no, that means that it has to be reality, because if it's a dream, then they wouldn't say no, right? That's like one of the big ways that I can like test if things are real, or getting people to do things that they're uncomfortable with. That's probably not a good thing to do in real life, huh? It works for dreaming, because in a dream it doesn't matter, but no, everybody was like super cool afterwards. I mean, like nobody got like hurt or anything. Like everybody was pretty understanding. I was like fucked out of my mind. Oh my God. Why not pinch yourself? Reckful pinched me a few times, and that actually brought me back to reality a little bit. Well, like, this is something that is so hard to explain to you guys, is that people bringing me back into reality was only hurting my illusion of reality even more, because Reckful would say pinch me, and he'd go, look, I'm pinching you, right? Ha, you're real now again, right? And I would go like, yes, thank you. But then after another second or two, it wasn't real anymore. So it was like every single attempt to bring me back into reality just made it seem like I kept coming back into fake realities. And I didn't know if that journey of coming back into a fake reality over and over again would ever stop, or if that was going to be the rest of my existence. My entire existence was going to be coming back into realities that I knew would be fake. What if I'm still tripping? I don't think I'm tripping now. I mean, I guess it's possible. You can never really know, right? But nah, I don't think so. You had the same trip I did. My first time was LSD. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything about LSD. I can't say it. People tell me that like LSD is for like artsy trips, but maybe if you do a lot, it's different. I don't know. The problem now is that I don't know if I do any of those other drugs, I don't know if I'll get like unique, because now I've got an expectation going in, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure if I do shrooms again, it would be, I don't know. Would it be easier for me to accept the ego death because I know at the very end I'll make it through? Because it's just a time thing? I'm not sure. Did you listen to any music during your trip? I don't think so. In the beginning, there was some music on. In the beginning, there was music on, but like once the second and third eighth of an ounce. Once the second and third, I don't remember. Once the second and third 3.5 grams kicked in. Once I was on the full 10.5, I completely became disconnected from reality. So like if there was music on, I had no fucking idea. There's no way I could have known. Or maybe it was like subconsciously influencing me, and I'm not sure, I don't know. It would be easier if you did it a second time, you'd remember surviving it your first time. Yeah, so it probably wouldn't be the same experience. Oh, alright. Would you ever consider doing DMT? The trips are 20 to 30 minutes? Maybe. Oh man, dude, losing yourself is just... I love myself so much. I wonder if you were depressed, if maybe you would like it more. I love myself and I never want to lose myself, so that process of losing myself was such a horrible fucking feeling. Yeah, I don't know. Why don't you value the artsy trips? I just don't care. I like doing artsy stuff when I'm cognitive. Destiny's trip on shrooms sounded similar to what I had on marijuana. The most marijuana I ever did, which I think was a decent amount because I don't do marijuana much, was eating the 24 milligram THC cookie. That cookie destroyed me, but I was very much like marijuana high. Like, I was very giggly. I like lost control of like parts of my body. Like, I remember that like when I tried to get like a drink, I would watch my hand moving in slow motion, and it would take so long for it to grab the cup and bring it to my mouth. It took so long to do it, and I was very frustrated with my arm for not doing it. But like, it was still like very, very, very much like a weed high. Like the shroom shit was another dimension. It was just another dimension. Someone said it seemed like you hated being in the room. Did you try to leave the room? I don't think I wanted to. I'm not sure. Dude, moving me, they would have had to carry me. I was so fucked. There's no way I was walking. I don't know how people talk about like going outside and like eating and shit on shroom. Well, I guess if you do less, because I probably did a lot. So maybe like with less shrooms, it would be more fun. But wait, that's not a dude. Never mind. Yeah. Do you regret not sticking to the suggested dosage? I've answered this question a million times. No, I'm glad I did what I did. I'm really, really glad I did what I did. Can you imagine living in an ego death state day to day as mentally impaired people do? No, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would kill myself, guaranteed. If there are people, no, I wouldn't be able to do it. I would kill myself, absolutely. Without a second thought, I would kill myself. If I had to live in that state, I wouldn't be able to do it. Absolutely not. Have you talked to Devin about the trip? I did a little bit, but I want to talk more about it. I think he's listening. I think I saw him in chat. I wanted to like get everything out and say everything before I spoke to him, because I wanted to make sure that he knew because I think Devin has done some crazy shit before. I didn't want him to think that anything he said to me was influencing what I would say to him, right? Because if he starts saying stuff like, oh yeah, you know, like, you get stuck in loops, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I totally got stuck in loops, right? Like, I don't want him to think that like I'm just repeating back to him what he would be saying to me. Am I more spiritual now? No, that's probably going to be the big thing that me and Devin disagree on. There is absolutely nothing spiritual. I know it was all in my mind, 100%. There was nothing religious, nothing spiritual, nothing transcend. When I said a transcendent experience, I just mean that like I literally felt like my entire existence had boiled down to a reality where I was talking initially to Becca, who was trying to guide me through this journey in my mind, or through my mind, and then when I spoke to myself, this journey of discovering why it was there, that these were like transcendent experiences because I was communicating with myself in a way that I'd never done it before, but it wasn't like spiritual or anything like that. If your friend of yours wanted to do it, what would you tell them? I don't know, dude. I can't in good conscience recommend somebody do this. I just can't. If you do it, you have to fully accept that you might destroy your fucking mind doing it. But, oh my god. Fuck me, dude. This was the most exhilarating experience of my entire life. Oh god. I said this to Reckful like 50 times when I came out of it. And I could tell that he was upset that he couldn't fully grasp it. Like, oh my god. It was such, it was, god, fuck. Like, it feels like I got to experience true death and then true insanity. And then I got to come back. I got to go on a self-discovery journey of reestablishing myself. These are things that you just can't do it. You can't do this normally. Oh, do you feel 100% there now? Yeah. I would say like the whole trip lasted, the crazy part, I would say like 4 hours. And then like the entire trip, including like kind of like when I just felt like marijuana high, like maybe 6 to 8 hours. But like, I could tell as soon as I was really coming back to reality. I could tell. I don't know how, but I could. There are waves and peaks and fall. Yeah, I know. The waves are the worst part. You think it'll change who you are as a person? Any lasting effects? No, not at all. I feel the exact same way as I did going in as I do coming, or I feel the same way coming out as I did going in. I don't think any part of my personality will change at all. Hopefully not, but I mean, maybe there's more time, but no, I feel the exact same way in and out. Did you meet any people who didn't really exist? No, everybody that I encountered in this state were all people in that room. I didn't meet or see anybody else, I don't think. Wait. Are you here now, OC? You think you gain more empathy for people with mental afflictions? I mean, like, I would like to say that I had empathy for them before, but, like, the experience of your senses lying to you is, I don't know how you do that. How does a paranoid schizophrenic function and understand what voices are real and what voices are fake? Oh my God, I totally understand. What did I watch? I watched a video where it was some guy in a YouTube channel, and he talks to people that have, like, I don't think mental afflictions, but just like that are no, they do. Stop saying they don't, because there are paranoid schizos that can function as normal people, but it's very, very, very hard. Well, but they still always hear the voices. But they're oh fuck. Okay, sorry. So there's a guy that talks to like I don't want to say crazy people, but people that have like mental shit going on, right? And he talked to a paranoid schizophrenic, and he asked her, "Do you hear the voices right now?" And her answer was, "I hear the voices right now, but I don't like answering this question." Or maybe she said she didn't, or maybe she didn't even say that. She's like, "I don't like answering this question because your next question is going to be, where are they? And if I point to where they are, everybody in the room is going to look there, and it's going to make my delusion seem more real." I totally understand that now. I absolutely understand that. Holy shit, I totally know what she means when she says that. That somebody else in the room entertaining your delusion will absolutely make it real in your mind. How do you... I saw the video, but I don't remember this anywhere? Wait, really? I know she said that. I know I watched this video. It was a guy that... he's a very nice guy. He talks to people. He talked to a paranoid schizophrenic, and he asked her, like, "Do you hear the voices now?" And she specifically said, "Yes, but I'm not comfortable talking to you about them because if everybody starts looking at where I said that..." Yeah, she doesn't... Okay, yeah, okay. I should have asked Reckful to email me the video. That's what I should have, and then we could have looked at parts of it on stream. Fuck, it's so fascinating. Alright. Are we good? Can we move on from this? Was there any music? Yeah, there was a little in the beginning, but then once I got disconnected from everything, I wouldn't even acknowledge it. Have I ever experienced sleep paralysis? Never in my life, no. Where is the video? It's either on Reckful's phone or Becca's phone. I'm not sure. But Becca was like recording a lot of it. You change your thoughts on those who commit crimes or murder while on shrooms? Yeah, I mean, you probably shouldn't do it. I mean, what the fuck? Did Byron invest all of his money into the card game? I don't really want to talk about that because I'm not comfortable talking about like his investments, like private, like to stream. I don't know like how much he would want to say or not. I mean, I will say that I guess it's kind of reveals it, but like I'm happy with the road that he decided to take, if that makes sense. But I'm not gonna talk about like I respect Reckful, and I don't know how much he's comfortable sharing publicly at all times. So I'm not comfortable like answering your personal questions about him, if that makes sense. I don't want to betray his trust, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, someone in chat said that. There was some guy in chat. Oh man. This is also like a reason why, this is a small reason, but part of the reason why I did this is because after I'd taken 3.5 grams, some guy in chat, was it Puppet or Prophet? One of these guys is really cool, and one of them was a huge fucking piece of shit. But one of them said something along the lines of like, I think Prophet was like a really cool dude that knows a lot about shrooms, and I think Puppet was the guy that said, oh, he only took 3.5 grams? That's nothing. He's not gonna feel shit. It's like, that's such a weak dose. He's not gonna do anything. Like, what a waste of time. I think it was that Puppet dude in chat. I get so fucking mad when I read that. Because he was like every fucking chatter that I've ever hated. They'd be like, oh, you only did that much? Like, oh, well, yeah, no diet effect, of course. Oh, yeah, yeah. I knew that people were gonna do that shit. Although it's kind of funny now that I did 10.5, people are like, oh, you did way too much, Destiny, that's bad. But whatever. Yeah, it was Puppet, okay. Yeah, no, don't even argue with them. Every single person I've talked to says that like 3.5 is like too big for your first time. Literally every person that I've talked to that I trust with their knowledge in shrooms said that 1.5 is good for your first time on shrooms. The 1.5 grams of dried psilocybin is a pretty good trip if you've never experienced it before. And then like 3.5 might take you to like hero levels if you have no experience. Like everybody that I trust that knows shrooms said that. And that like past like 5 or 6 is like getting to like really crazy levels. How much did the time might cost you? I don't really want to talk about like costs or source or anything like that. I don't feel like that's appropriate. It sounds scary. I'd probably need someone to hold me. I don't know. I wish I could tell you what that would be like. I don't think I would have wanted anybody to interact with me if I wasn't ready for it though. Oh, I don't know how that would have changed things. Oh God. Did talking to yourself in the mirror feel good in the way? Yeah, let me be clear. When I say that I was talking to myself in the mirror, this was one of my 2 transcendent experiences. I wasn't just talking to myself in the mirror. I was talking to a version of myself that represented like the innermost parts of my mind that was questioning my entire reason for existing at that moment in time. That's what I was talking to. Like, not just like I'm talking to myself in the mirror, but like, yeah, if that makes sense. Somebody just typed in fucking 20,000 sentences in Destiny GG chat. There's no fucking way I can read all of that. Right now I'm driving. Is anything else planned with Reckful? I don't have anything planned right now. He said that he really enjoyed making content with me. I mean, I really like talking to Reckful. I consider Reckful to be a very intelligent person. So I mean, yeah, I would like to do more stuff with him in the future. It'll just come down to whether or not he maintains that interest, which I would hope he does, and then I'd say if we have the opportunity, but like, I mean, I can always travel, he can always travel, so. I like that, I think that most people that are exposed to me end up liking my presence there. Do you think Reckful's insistence caused you to adopt his ego? Is my stream working right now or not? We back? Okay, yes, I do think it did. Because Reckful kept like shaking me every time I would slip in and out. Reckful kept shaking me and asking like, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? And I think that's why I started to adopt his ego, because, or why I thought I was part of him, why I was him, because it felt like after a while, it felt like he was looking at me, but he was talking to himself. And I think that's why I felt like I was becoming him, or why I was discovering that I had always been him. Why would he shake you? Because he really wanted me to answer him, but I couldn't. He was like, he had his hand on my shoulder. He kept asking, like, where are you going? Where are you going? Because I kept saying, like, am I back? And then I was like, I'm going again. Don't let me die. And he'd be like, where are you going? Where are you going? And he would like keep asking me. And I think that his insistence there, like, started to make me think that I was him and that he was asking himself these questions. Terrible trip sitter? Yeah, I think that, like, most people would probably say that Reckful was a horrible trip sitter, but I loved it. I'm so glad he was. Yeah, maybe. Like, this is what I say, that, like, I don't think Reckful was ever trying to help me. Like, I don't think he had necessarily, like, my interest in mind in this, but, like, his personality, like, it just perfectly allowed me to explore this in a way that no other person would have. Oh my God. Reckful and I are, like, maybe a little bit too similar in some ways, but, like, his selfishness in, like, pushing me to do this, and then these insistence in asking me questions was, oh my God, it gave me an experience that I would have never had otherwise. I'm so happy for all of it. What was I saying before? Oh, I think this got cut out because there's nothing. I was just saying that, like, it's like one of the reasons why I feel like I should live in LA is, like, I didn't know if this Reckful podcast would actually happen, and I didn't know that because I know that, like, sometimes he changes minds and shit, and then I had no idea that the Pokey podcast was even a thing. But, like, just by virtue of me being in LA, in one day, I just happened to wind up in front of, like, 40,000 plus unique viewers. That's crazy. That, like, and I think the reception on both of those podcasts was, like, overwhelmingly positive. Like, Reckful's fan base seemed to really like me there, and then Pokey's fan base, or, like, the offline TV fan base, seemed to really enjoy my presence there as well. That was, like, both of those were huge opportunities. The only reason I want to move to LA is because I don't want to uproot Nathan's life. That's, like, the big thing. The way that my life is, like, held together right now is so incredibly fragile. Because, like, I still live with Aaron, who doesn't really have a place to live right now except for with me. but we're not dating, but like the kind of relationship we have right now is it like kind of works, although I don't think it's really fair for her or fair to her, but I mean it kind of works right now. And then Rachel still watches Nathan a lot, and she's got her parents that live there that can help Nathan, they can like watch Nathan if she's not able to. And then Nathan goes back and forth between us, and then we both spend a lot of time watching Nathan. So like the way that my living situation works, it feels like I would have to uproot so many people to be like in another comparable living situation, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. So why can't everyone move to LA? Yeah, that's the thing. Like to get like the same living situation right now, I would have to like move myself and Aaron, and then Rachel would have to move with Nathan, and ideally like Rachel's parents would come too. Wouldn't it be better for Aaron to be in LA? Well, actually, yeah, it would be too. So me and Aaron actually moving to LA would probably make sense. How does Destiny benefit from Aaron? I mean, she does like a lot of the house upkeep. I still really enjoy her company. She's a fun person to talk to. I mean, for all the reasons I originally liked her, I still like her. I mean, she's incredibly intelligent. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you mean? Do you ever think you get viewers from Ice Design and fan base? I think, oh, fuck, and I hung out with Ice this trip too. I just remember that as well. Holy shit. I think that ISIS fans enjoy my presence because I'm like a good voice of reason for Paul, but I don't think they would ever watch me. I think that like I think that a decent chunk of them enjoy me interacting with Paul, but they would never come and watch my stream on their own. I don't think so. But that's fine for me. I like interacting with Paul because that whole experience is so fascinating to me. I don't like need to get viewership from it or anything, you know? Like I don't need I don't need to get anything like that. Grind dried shrooms into powder. I thought about doing that. I thought about putting them in hot chocolate and then doing it that way, but I don't know. Tell us more Lily stories. I don't know what to say. I didn't really hang out with her that much on this trip. The E3 stuff, they were really busy. And then I hang out with Paul a lot, and then I spent like a day with Reckful. You scare Lily when you came back. When Lily talks about that kind of stuff, it seems like she's very much after kind of like the artsy experience, but I was very much looking for like the introspective experience. So like I think we have very different goals in regards to that. Oh, I think Fed likes me a lot. I really like Fed. He's a cool dude. Did you hang out with Ice off stream as well? You said you were going to. I don't remember if I hung out with Paul off stream or not. We drove to that restaurant. Oh no, I think you mentioned like going to the grocery store, but we never ended up doing that. Would you try regular Vipassana medication? I can't read the word. I don't know. Oh, I talked to Scar a lot too. Yeah, I really like Scar too. Yeah, I like everybody in that house a lot. I think most of them like me as well. Pokey is so smart. Holy shit. Oh, there's so many interesting problems that exist in that offline TV house that I can't really talk about, but man, Pokemon is like, I had this like vision of Pokey where I kind of thought that she was just like, oh, you know, I play YouTube and I take pretty pictures on Instagram, you know, like, and that's just kind of like, that's just like what I figured Pokey was, but she is not. She is very, or she, at least, if she's not, she fakes it very well. She is very intelligent, very ruthless. Yeah, holy shit. I got a lot of respect for her in this trip. Damn. I like those traits though. It's very good. It's very strong. I don't mean ruthless in like she'll kill you kind of way. I just mean like she understands. It seems like she understands the business side of things like very well and very much pursues things that benefit her. Can you give an example? Not really. I don't really want to talk about anything too personal or whatever. That's just, she's very intelligent. Do I think I will get my Twitter back? I hope so. I don't know. We'll see. Did you play any poker with Reckful? No, we didn't get a chance to. You wanted me to play PLO, which is scary to me, but I don't know. Do you use premium or regular in your lawnmower? Why would you ever use premium gas in your lawnmower? That's fucking retarded. Oh, I felt good. I went back to the, when we were back at the house, I showed Reckful my Germany poker clip, and he told me that, he said that it was an absolutely impossible hand to fold. I'm happy he said that. Whew. I was worried that there was going to be some shit, and he was going to think I was totally fucking retarded, but... Oh, somebody asked me if I had met Janet. No. Choco Bears? No. Do you feel a big change from the trip at all, or is it just temporary? It was just a temporary thing. I'm totally back to... I'm the same person I was when I left. Am I planning more time to spend more time with Reckful? Yeah, if I can. Yeah, I'd love to. Sure. When are you going to try heroin? I don't think I would trust myself to try something that is so incredibly chemically addicting, or like physiologically addicting. Physiologically, would that be the right word? So like meth or heroin, I don't think I would ever try. Maybe cocaine. I'm not sure. Did I ever have doubts about coming to LA? No. I mean, I know that every time I do it's an incredibly positive experience. It just stresses my home life a lot because Rachel has to find somebody to watch Nathan, and it's just really difficult for her to do that. I'm kind of like, I fuck her job over a lot, which is not good because Rachel's pretty independent and tries to do like her own thing. Oh, I made content with Offline TV. I don't know if they released that video or not. It's out? Wait, what is it? Oh yeah, it's Mafia. Yeah, I played Mafia with them. Yeah, that was pretty funny. Oh shit, that's where I have to turn, that's where we have to turn down our respect for Pokey a little. Oh my god, she was so bad at lying. When she got Mafia, holy fuck. It was so incredibly obvious. That was probably the funniest part of playing that. Wait, it's not released on their channel? Wait, I thought how did you guys all know it was Mafia then? It was on that Angel Kimmy girl stream? Oh, she's really cool. I didn't get to talk to her or hang out with her as much. She's a really cool person. Oh, I guess we got boba tea and shit with her and somebody else from the house. Did I meet Zareen? Oh, shit! Oh, no! You guys missed! Okay, when you get a chance, fucking Christ. You've got to ask fucking Lily. Oh, my God. Okay, who is the other LCS caster? Can you guys start saying names? There's Zyrene, and then there's another guy. What's his name? Another LCS caster guy. Not Freak. Not Kobe. Oh, was it Jat? He's like, it's a guy that's kind of like taller and pretty handsome. Captain Flowers! Okay, holy shit. So, TJ, who is the guy that does music, okay? He can like, he can play piano, and he can kind of like improv like music to the mood or whatever. Captain Flowers and Zyrene did like an improv musical for us in the basement when they were drunk, and it was so fucking good. I felt like I was watching like a better version of Whose Line Was It Anyways. The Captain Flowers dude was amazing. They were like singing along and acting like improv while TJ was like playing the piano. So, did Kimmy take a video of this? Oh God, I don't think anybody's gonna do this. This was like the funniest shit I have ever seen in my real life ever happening. Oh God, if Lily is streaming or the next time she's streaming, you gotta ask her about it. It was so fucking funny. Zyrene is a god singing. Yeah, Captain and Zyrene like singing, like improv to the songs that TJ was playing. And like TJ would like change up the piano to like a spooky thing, and they would like change their acting. It was so fucking funny. It was so good. Holy shit. That Captain Flowers dude is like a monster. That guy is amazing. I love that dude. I might start watching LCS casts just after interacting with him. We were playing a bunch of like drinking games and shit, like Rage Cage and shit, and that dude was just like taking charge. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I love that dude. The Captain Flowers guy is so funny. Zyrene is really cool too. Was I drunk? No, I didn't really get drunk because I'm a god. I'm a god at Rage Cage, apparently. But unfortunately, when we were playing, Lily was standing next to me, so every time I like stacked her cup, she had to drink, so she got fucked really hard. It's called Honeycomb, not Rage Cage. Oh, never mind. Okay, Honeycomb. That sounds like it could be it, because there's a bunch of cups in the middle that all form a honeycomb. Wait, who's saying that? Were you there? Were you a guy that was there? Pedantic Cat. It's called Honeycomb, not fucking Rage Cage. Wait, how did you know we were playing? Is it because I said stack? Wait, Dustin, it is called Rage Cage. Okay, I don't know. It can be called many different things. The cups were all filled with beer, this was the first time in my life I'd ever really drank that much beer. I don't like beer, but the beer was Bud Light. I totally get all the memes now. I don't know why anybody would willingly drink Bud Light. It tasted like, I don't want to say, let me say this. People that say that Bud Light tastes like piss water are not correct, because Bud Light doesn't have enough flavor for it to be piss water. What did you think about Arya? Arya's pretty cool. What about Edison? I like the Edison guy. I liked everybody at the house. They were all really cool. Who did I get a negative impression of on this trip? I don't think I got a negative impression of anyone. Oh, the Spanish guy at Ice's place. Yeah, maybe that dude. I was actually scared when you talked one-on-one. I was more scared when I walked out to my car. The guy, as we were walking through the hallway, he was telling me about how I had royal bloodlines, and he was telling me about how he was an executioner, and he had executed so many royals in the past, and I thought he was going to transition to trying to kill me or some shit. Yeah, I don't know where Toast was. I never saw him all. Oh, I got to go to Disneyland with Jaden, too. Jaden was, like, the same in real life. Yeah, I had a lot of fun this trip. Wait, what are you guys all... I just realized I have a lot of viewers for the time. It's like fucking 3 a.m. where I live. What the fuck? Oh, Jagenbeck said he was looking forward to going to Japan. Yeah, if I go to Japan, I could probably hang out with him. He seemed really cool. Is meeting new people enjoyable for you, or can it be tiring? No, I really like meeting new people. I consider myself to be a pretty social person. I really like meeting people in small settings or in quiet environments. So like, I like meeting and talking to like 3 or 4 people at a time. I don't like parties. I don't know how to explain it, but like, the idea of like going up to somebody and talking to them at a party is like, just not enjoyable for me. It's usually like loud and the conversation sucks and it's just weird. But like in a more intimate setting, like over dinner or something, I really enjoy talking to and meeting new people. I've heard they were talking, Lily and a couple other people were talking about going to Japan as well, and they seem to really enjoy it. I also talked to a few people about going in July. Man, I'm getting like a massively negative, people seem to get really mad at that idea. I had 2 different people email me about, because one guy went in July and he said it was absolutely fucking miserable. And then another guy said that he'd lived there for a while and that like the summer temperatures are so absolutely humid that like you get drenched as soon as you walk out the door. I don't know. Maybe I'll stream later. Ribberino, cappuccino, cappuccino, cappuccino. Who should I host? Is there someone I should host? Oh, I don't think I can host actually. Never mind. Fuck.